Get it. Let's 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 get it. Tap in. Tap in. Tap in. Tap in. Let's get it. Well, I do this little STEM thing. I don't know what it's about, but while I get into it, nine. I found money all around me. I feel like I'm a man. Hold on, chat. All my niggas pro. All my niggas pro.
Are you gonna do the STEM class today?
Yeah.
Alright, we'll get ready to start. Are you doing a STEM class today? Are you doing a STEM? No, okay.
Yes, we gotta build some Legos, chat. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I know what's going on. I just wanna have a good time. Oh, how we going down?
I'm just waiting for like a couple of seconds for the other ones to trickle in.
So I don't know. About to build some Legos. So I'm excited for today's lesson because it involves Legos, and I'm happy. All right.
Where'd you get this?
Why didn't you join from your phone?
Where'd you get this?
Fridge
What fridge?
over there. Jay, you want that? Want that? Want that? Tap the screen. Tap the screen. Tap the screen. Y'all tap in. Tap the screen. Make sure you tap the screen. We in church right now. Feel me? Feel me?
Hey, folks.
Yo, Christopher,
Much.
come here. Come here. You're a grown man.
No, we're not doing this.
Now look. You live. That's a grown man in my chat, so y'all can't ban me.
I do not want to partake in your vlog.
For the last time. Don't matter.
Then
Don't
why?
matter to me.
Well, then why must you be a pain in my side consistently?
What?
I tell you things I don't like, and you do forever do them.
Chat.
Whatever.
Don't mind him. He just cool.
Someone who's 17, like you're 5.
Make sure y'all join. Y'all tap the screen.
Is the other person at your cousin, your brother?
That's my brother.
Okay, is he gonna join us as well?
Nah, he not
Okay.
gonna join.
Alright.
I could get a brisk from. I could get a brisk from.
Where you got it from?
I checked the bowl, it was empty. And we
Alright,
had
so
Pepsi-
I was
had
trying
4
to wait for
Pepsis and a ginger ale.
Oh, I found it.
Oh, we gonna build a rocket today?
Yep, we were gonna build a rocket.
My grandma did send me something like that. I don't know.
Yep, we're gonna build a rocket out of Legos. So first we're gonna talk about some of the components and some of the engineering that goes into rocket building, and then we're gonna build a rocket out of Legos. So that's the goal for today.
Tap the screen.
I am waiting for
Tap
Saturday.
the screen.
Because my son was interested.
You get off your phone, bro.
4 people in the live.
5 and all.
Tap the screen. Make sure y'all tap the screen. Y'all join. Tap the screen, chat. 6 people. Ooh, tap the screen. Tap the screen. Tap the screen. I
actually
like
live?
this. Yeah.
Yeah, alright, so let's just get started. So what is a rocket? What do you think
rocket?
a rocket is? Yeah.
a giant fundamental hotel.
That's what it does, yeah. That's the goal of the rocket, is to go up. So, yep, you can say thank you. So what do you think a rocket is?
A rocket is something that I think a rocket is something that goes up into space, or something that goes up in the air.
A rocket can have many different purposes, and so a rocket is a cylinder-shaped missile, right? It's a spacecraft or it's another aircraft that gains its thrust from burning gases shooting out of it. So we all seen, and how many of us watched the rocket go into space? What was it, a few weeks ago?
What?
What?
Elias.
No. No.
No. Artemis 2.
There you go. Artemis
No.
2.
I knew it started with that.
Yeah, it was Artemis 2. See, I got that right.
Yes.
I
So
mean,
it's Artemis 2.
I be on the news
When
and
was
I
the
be
last time we've been to space? Been on the moon?
like I say like 20 something days ago.
Well, before Artemis. Before Artemis
Thank
2.
you. Thank you.
When was the last time we've been to space? Been to the moon.
Appreciate that. Really do.
A human, I should say a human. Let me clarify.
Subscribe.
Well, it was over 50 years ago. That's when they stopped all missions, and it was the Apollo. Many people know the Apollo 13, that's the most famous one, because not many, all of them perished in the air. You ever heard of the Apollo 13?
Huh.
Apollo
It
13.
blew up.
Oh, they never made it to the
They
moon.
never made it to the moon. No.
Damn.
And so the last mission that had cargo in their payload, so cargo could be, a person or like stuff that we need, are scientific tools. The last mission was Apollo 17. Where do you think they got the name Artemis from?
The Greek god?
Yeah, is there any association?
Artemis was the god of archery and hunting, I believe.
Tap
Mhm.
screen.
Yep. And so I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that Artemis and Apollo were brother and sister. And that's how they came up with the name. At first I was like, how are they coming up with these names? But it makes sense. So then they commissioned in 2016 that we should go back.
Tap screen.
Well, I mean, depending on who you ask, we go back for many reasons. We want to see if there's any changes. We want to test the soil. We want to see if there's any differences in the atmosphere. We're collecting a lot of data out there. But if you ask someone else, it's political. You want to be the first, of course. Like, you want to be the first one to claim something. And when there's something that has been unclaimed, you want to go up there and stake your flag in it. So, I'm not. So the thrust is the force driving and pushing forward the jet or the rocket engine. And that's what you see. And so let's talk a little bit about the history of rockets.
Before we start, I got a
Sure.
question.
Sure.
It's like, how many people made it to the moon? And
Like total?
mhm.
Oh, I don't know the total amount. I mean, we could probably count them all on all the missions who safely made it. Yeah, we can. We'll pin that, and I'll answer that question at the end while you're building the rocket out of Legos.
Okay.
All right. So 17th century was the first gunpowder rocket made in China. So that was the 17th century. And then in 1903, they wondered about manning a spacecraft and sending it up using rocket technology. So then in 1920, Robert Goddard published plans for improvement of the rocket technology, a method of reaching extreme altitudes. So now everyone, sometimes when we're developing something, we're creating something, it takes more than one person. So one person discovers this part, another person discovers that part, and then they keep making improvements on it until we get to what we're enjoying today, like our cell phones.
Not word.
Right? And then we had Herman published a rocket into the planetary space in 1923. And then in the 1960s, the rapid progress of rocket technology. So they were trying to race. It was the race to the moon by that time. And so there were different projects. We had the Mercury project, we had the Gemini project, and most notable is the Apollo project. There we go. 1969, Apollo 11 landed on the moon. The first man on the moon using Saturn V rocket launch. Who remembers or who can recall or name any of the astronauts that was the first man to or men to step on the moon?
Neil Armstrong.
Neil
I
Armstrong.
was gonna say that.
There's still more.
There's still more, but that's like the only
That's
one.
like the one that sticks out.
Yeah.
That
How
sticks
about
out.
Toy Story?
Toy Story.
Buzz
Buzz
Lightyear.
Aldrin.
Yes.
Mhm.
There you go.
Mhm. I think he's the one that said one small step for man
One
and
giant
one
step
for mankind. There we go. I knew it was some. I knew those words all was included in that whole thing.
And I think there was a third one, wasn't there?
Oh,
There was.
and then there was another one that he was on the mission, but he stayed in the aircraft.
I forgot.
Yeah, yeah, you
I
can't trust me
completely forget
to
that.
remember
Dude,
the
nobody
name.
gonna lie.
So rockets use a
Zero.
propellant, a liquid or a solid fuel to burn inside, and it is a combustible. It's used in a combustible chamber, and it's shot out the nozzle. Rockets usually have like aerodynamic shape. What's an aerodynamic shape? What do you think an aerodynamic shape will be?
A triangle.
Not quite, but you're close.
Or I guess a cylinder in this case.
Yep, a cylinder of the, and so it normally have like a very narrow front, so the air can, and will help me with this, so the air can pass over it and allow it to,
Cut through the air pass through.
yes. So the aerodynamic shape such as the nozzle cone, which is located at the top, then we have and it holds the payload. What would be a payload? What would the payload be?
It tastes like Pepsi.
What?
I'm sorry.
Anyways, payload usually is like container or like maybe like goal of transportation. So I guess in this
Top
case,
screen.
the members of the ship.
You got it. A payload contains it.
Armstrong, Buzz, and Michael Collins.
So Michael was the one that stayed on the aircraft. He was like leaving. Come on.
Don't blame him, honestly.
There we go. The combustible chamber encloses space where the fuel is burning, and the payload is the passenger and the cargo, and all of their stuff. So there was a glitch on the Artemis. During their mission, they had backed up plumbing that froze.
Oh.
And so the plumber, she's an astronaut and a plumber, she had to repair it. They actually had to wait until their aircraft rotated enough to hit the sun to warm the pipe, defrost it, and then she was able to fix it.
How convenient that one of their members just so
Now we
happened
can't do
to be
that,
a
chat.
plumber.
Well,
Yeah.
so when they go through their training, they go through hours of training, and when they're picking their craft, the people they all specialize in
Subscribe
something.
first.
So so the one that we're calling a plumber, I'm sure her title is pretty
If you
long,
subscribe, I
but
got you.
it probably includes not only basic plumbing but also engineering of the ship
Yeah.
and things like that.
That's neat.
Yeah. I'm sure her schooling was a lot intense, more intense than our household plumbing or the plumbing in the building. So rockets can also have wings, they can have fins, they can have parachutes. The rockets are created differently depending on how far they're looking to go and whether or not it's going to contain like people on it.
Wait, so what is the difference between a wing and a fin in the case of a rocket ship?
So if you see here, like the fins are a little narrower here. And
So fins are more downwards, while wings are more outwards.
mhm.
No. Well, fins are used for
I'm a man of my word.
to change direction and control direction.
Right there.
Wings are more stable.
Oh, okay.
You know, they're usually just in one position.
I'm a man of my
But
word.
the fins itself help directional change.
Alright, so one for directional.
So the fuel is stored inside the rocket. It is used for pushing or driving the force to release the rocket
I'm a
from
man of
the
my word.
engine and create the thrust. So now we're getting to where how it all works, right? How it all comes together. Because you notice when it leaves with many pieces, but when it comes back, it just comes with the small, just the payload area. And there's reasons for that. And so the propellant ignites, and remember the propellant is the liquid. It ignites into hot gas into the engine combustion chamber, and as the gas nears the combustion chamber exit, they move faster and faster and beyond the nozzle. They push the rocket against the engine. All the heat and everything creates on the opposite end. So if you remember, this old guy named Newton, right? And so, yeah, there we go, Isaac Newton. So what's at play? I mean, it's on
Isaac
the screen. So what's at play?
I'm learning about it.
He came up with laws of motion, and one of the laws of motion was every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So what would you think, looking at the rocket, what would be a reaction? Think about it.
I'm learning about that too. All
So-
three laws.
So every action have an equal and opposite reaction. So let's think about the action. What's happening when the rocket is shooting into space with the propellant?
It explodes.
No, it propels the ship up.
Oh.
So the reaction, well, the action would be the rocket releases the propellant. So the propellant is now
Tap
going
the
towards the
screen.
end, which is all of the fire. So that is the action. So what would the reaction be?
It ignites fuel.
It's igniting the fuel, but there's something else. What's the reaction?
It goes
If all of the propellant is going out, the reaction would be the rocket moves in the opposite direction. So if the propellant is moving this way, the rocket is moving that way. So that's the Newton's third law in action. So the faster the speed of the thrust coming out, the rocket moves speed, the rocket moves in the opposite direction. Fun fact, and this has nothing to do with rockets. You ever heard of dragster before?
Sorry, say that again?
Dragster.
Dragster.
A dragster.
Like a race car? Right?
Yep. So it's a race car. It uses very similar a propellant, and it's narrow and aerodynamic. But the same force it takes a rocket to shoot into air is what the driver is actually feeling when he's driving the car. So just a fun fact. Thomas Snapple.
Nah, that's tough. That's tough. Keep it alive. That's tough. That's tough.
And it pushes your body.
Thank you for subscribing, RT.
So I grew up with this guy.
You're a goat. You're a goat.
Many,
On the road to 1,000 subscribers. Need 100 before my birthday. Let's get it.
I love film riding, but I have been scarred beyond compelled now.
Oh, that was a pretty cool video. Hold on, let me see if I can get it.
Squad.
It's not worth it.
It's not working.
Don't get.
Yeah, he is. And his
No, my B-Day is on Saturday. But I need 100 for Saturday.
Rockets move because of the momentum of their fuel. Now here I have a rocket in my pocket. It's the plastic rocket of science. And for fuel, we'll use just air. Put it in with this small air pump. About 20 pumps. 3,
You good?
1, 2, 1.
Why is that noise? Why do you make a noise?
One of my rubber bands just fell off, but it's
Oh
okay.
man, watch this as a child is different.
Let's put that rocket with a test on and not actually inhabited.
Here's the same type of rocket with a little water in it. See? Now the water is
My birthday is Saturday.
so when it goes out the back, 60, 70, 80, 90, 20, 3, 2, 1.
Alright.
See, not bad. Now Now, as long as the fuel's going this way, the rocket will go this way. And the momentum of the fuel going out the back
Yeah, nah.
fast equals the
I ain't gonna lie,
momentum
I'm
of the
16.
rocket going off the other way,
He
not
8.
so fast.
He's like 8.
Nice.
I normally have that little
Yeah.
gadget.
Can you see me?
So force is acting on the rocket. So you have the lift, you have the drag, you have the weight, and then you have the thrust. The thrust is produced by the exhaust from the engine pushing the rocket. Then you have gravity that pulls the weight of the rocket against the direction it's moving. Because gravity is doing what? What's gravity doing?
Pulling it down.
It's pulling you down. And you have the drag, and it's the force pulling against the rocket's motion, such as air resistance. And then the lift. So the lift is a slight aerodynamic force that helps stabilize and controls the rocket's direction of flight. So that's the top part of it, and then that's also, Will mentioned it, you asked
I'm
a
back.
question about it, that helps cut through the air.
Wait, chat, can you see me? Chat, can you see me? Say yes if you can. Put yes in the chat if you can see me. Put yes in the chat. I don't know what's going on. My freaking phone. So, what am I doing right now? Because I can't see. My screen is black. I don't know why. What am I doing? You can see me now? Nah, I'm in church right now. I'm doing STEM for like. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, guys. You my main supporter. Make sure you keep liking my videos. I'm gonna make it big one day and I'm gonna remember you. We about to be out. I see y'all when I get home. I post my video. Yeah, be on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Yeah. I see y'all. Make sure I hit that like button, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Yeah. See y'all. Peace.